Joining us for a look at this week's political headlines, our political analyst, Paul Lisnek, host of the Political Report, Sundays here on WGN TV.
Always good to even get breaking news when we come on the air.
And we do have that, don't we?
We do.
Okay, so first of all, the prosecutors are asking for an appeal. This is regarding the documents in Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
2 points on that, if you could address that. And then we had discussed earlier who the special master is and how interesting that is.
Sure. First of all, no surprise, Jackie and Ray, that this appeal was filed. They told Judge Cannon that, you know, you got to do something for us by Thursday, yesterday, or we're filing. So no surprise that it's filed. Now, where the prosecution is being a bit smart about this is they are not appealing everything she said. You know, that raises all sorts of issues. They honed in on a couple of things, basically saying there's two things that bother us. Number one, that we can't have access to these documents that were seized because we can't pursue our criminal investigation while we wait that out for all this time. And secondly, we've got an issue with the fact that these documents are going to be seen by a special master who may not have clearance, but also then opened up, because the judge has said, to Trump's legal team, and they don't have special clearance. And remember, there's a lot of information trying to protect a lot of people in there. So it's a limited appeal. It goes to the 11th Circuit. Now, 6 of the 11 judges, there's supposed to be 12. There's an open seat right now. 6 of the 11 are Trump appointees. Now, we don't know who the 3 will be that will get this, but if whoever loses, the next step is probably to ask the court to sit what's called en banc, meaning you get all 11 of them to hear the case, and whoever loses there could take it up on appeal. The issues are not complex, but we'll see what happens.
To Jackie's point, Raymond Dearie, the federal judge from New York.
Yeah, so Judge Dearie was really interesting because everybody agrees he's qualified. He's a Reagan appointee, been around a long time, meticulous and smart. So what sort of made me wonder for a while was, why did the Trump team want him? Because he looks like a pretty straight shooter. He's not, you know, he's not going to be a Trump guy. Why would they have put him forward? And then the DOJ agreed. And as I did a little homework, I found out that apparently what there is with him, he is very good, but he's very slow. And there's 11,000 documents to be looking at here. And the judge has given them until the end of November, but he's very, very slow. He needs more time. Maybe she'll give it to him. I think it's a delay tactic, but a smart guy in the process. So in the end, it's probably a win.
All right.
For DOJ, that is.
Right. Back to the migrant moves.
Yeah.
They have been so divisive among governors and now mayors. The mayor of Burr Ridge with Governor Pritzker. Is the point being made getting lost with human lives here in the balance?
Well, I think look, Greg, and I want to talk about Greg Abbott for a minute in Texas. He's on a border state, and the governor of Arizona, these are border states. So when they choose to say we're sending people elsewhere, the underlying principle makes sense in terms of we need help. Look what you're making us deal with, and nobody's doing anything, so they took action. Why Ron DeSantis is doing it, Florida, last time I looked, is not a border state. It's surrounded mostly by water, so he's just playing political games. The problem, I think, Ray and Jackie, is the way they're doing this. It's becoming the talk of political gamesmanship. We know Ron DeSantis wants to, you know, run for president anyway. The reality of it is there is a proper way to do this. And had Abbott, even if he did it once and sent some people and then said, now, work with me, talk to me, we've got to handle this properly, you know, the sanctuary cities like Chicago and San Francisco and other places would have been there and would be there to talk to him, but it would be handled properly in all ways. Mayor Lightfoot, who of course then started sending some folks off to the suburbs without telling those mayors, she got some heat on that, and she did, I don't know that she apologized, but she did say she would now give them notice moving forward. This is a problem that's clear. The problem in the border is real. People need to work together to make this.
A valid point, but at the same time, it seems like the Biden administration is now finally getting together, and they're going to talk about migration.
And that was the smartest purpose behind any of this, because now this is something the Biden administration, remember, Vice President Harris is supposed to have been dealing with this from day one. We're not seeing a lot of change. If there is, you know, we know she's had some meetings, but what's going on? So yes, this makes it a front burner issue. Where this goes as the election gets closer, we'll see, but certainly in border states, I mean, Greg Abbott is getting high marks from the people in Texas over this issue.
Abortion has been a big focal point in the upcoming election here, with comments about let's make it a national ban versus leaving it up to the states. Lindsey Graham got into
Here's what
trouble.
doesn't make sense about that. First of all, Republicans who have always wanted the Supreme Court ruling of Roe versus Wade to overturn got it. They got what they wanted. And the whole point of Roe versus Wade being overturned is let the states decide. That's the point. And many Republicans have always said that, let the states decide. And then in comes Lindsey Graham to say, let's have a federal ban on abortion for 15 weeks. That just doesn't fly well around the states. And I think even most Republicans think Lindsey Graham stepped in it and probably should have just stayed out of it.
Paul Lisnick, you've got so much more to say, but we're going to have to wait till Sunday then.
With the
You
exception,
watch
can I
him.
tell you who's coming on Sunday, if I may, which I'm going to have
Go right
Representative
ahead.
Jim Durkin, Minority Leader. We're going to talk about the SAFE-T Act. I'm going to challenge him with what Pritzker says about it. You'll hear what he has to say. And then I also am talking to all about the new king and prime minister, Professor Aaron Delaney from Northwestern. I'm going to talk about the fact that, and you may not know this, but the king and the prime minister have been spending a lot of time together, even as he's traveled. That's not supposed to happen between a king and a prime minister. What's that all about? She'll address it.
Supposed to meet once a week or once a month or something
Exactly,
like that.
but you know, they're doing it a lot more than that. So Sunday morning at 9, there will be a quiz.
Okay, we'll bring our number 2 lead pencils.
All right.